It's my birthday, y'all. Happy birthday to me. Not only is it my birthday, but I'm dropping my 30th episode. Super excited. So thank you, everyone who's been listening and continues to listen. Episode 30, I think, is going to be something definitely worth listening to. I want you all to know that the Oasis podcast will be taking off the month of August. So gotta rest, gotta relax. Been in therapy, so there's a lot of things I'm unpacking there, and hopefully I can drop some episodes speaking about that journey. But I want you all to take this time to listen to episodes 1 through 30, right? If you missed a few episodes before, go back, listen to it, and please don't forget to comment, rate, and review us. Share your favorite episodes, as well as email and send us any show ideas you might have. If you have any questions, any comments, if you need any assistance, you know what I'm saying? If you want us to, myself and my guests, to kind of weigh in on maybe an issue or something you've been dealing with, please feel free to do that. So I look forward to speaking to you all very soon, and have a great summer. Be safe. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I hope you all are safe and well as you are listening to this podcast episode. Today, I have a very new and special guest with me on the Sister to Sister episode. My very long time, I guess, friend, you could say, right, from college days, Miss Patty. Patty, introduce yourself to the listeners.
Hi, everyone. My name is Patty. Just a quick brief thing about me. I'm a case manager working for the city of New York, and I have known Miss AJ for a very, very, very long time. One of my very dear friends. I'm happy to be on your show.
Yes, a very long time, girl.
Yeah.
So just for those who are, if this is the first time you're listening to a Sister to Sister podcast episode, the Sister to Sister kind of segments, I guess I'll call them, or episodes, are really for us as Black women to connect with each other, to dispel that stigma or that notion of, oh, Black women can't be friends. We always trying to cut each other down, which is absolutely not the case, right? And so this is also opportunity for other young Black women, other women in general, who can listen and connect with other women, but also leave the episode with a gem from that they can use and apply to their lives, right? Things that hopefully they can grab, things that they wish they knew. And we also can then have a mini therapy session, right? And share with each other and get some things off of our chest, especially during these quarantine times, right? There's probably a lot of self-reflection and things going on, and we need to get some things out, okay?
Yes.
Right? So, Miss Patty, all right. You have, again, we've known each other for, Lord, because a long time, a long time.
Yes.
And we went to college together. We then kind of lost touch because of life, right?
Yes.
And we just so happened to bump into each other, like a year or two ago or so?
Yeah, I was walking home, and I see you strutting up the street in a summer dress with keys in hand. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I was like, is it really her? Yeah. And ever since then, we've just been like two peas in the pod, you know?
Yes. Miss Patty was with her little princesses. I was like, oh my God. Look at them. Like, yeah, they were so cute. But anyway, I digress. But anyway, so I wanted to mention that because I think that's something that's important to share, that Black women, we can have long-term relationships with friends, right? With people.
Yes.
But understanding that life does happen, right? Life happens where you won't talk to people for a long time, right? Like, because listen, okay, when life happens, it happens. And but understanding that you can always reconnect. And when your spirit connects with somebody, it doesn't matter how long, you might be separated, you'll reconnect again. There's something about that person that will draw you to that person. And when we connected, child, I think we both needed that reconnection.
I mean, listen, you know what? The energy when I first met you, like, again, was just like, oh my God. It was kind of like, you see a child go from like teenager trying to figure things out to now a full-fledged adult. And I just saw you in full bloom, and you always had that air of confidence, like, I'm the shit. Yeah, it's me. I'm here.
That's you always
a lie. You know what I mean? And I always had that little low key kind of air to me too. I was like, listen, I can see it, but I
You
know
always super
you.
confident. You walk into the room like, yes, okay, like,
I mean, you know
okay.
what? Blame my father for that. He was the one that he would walk in strutting and everybody just broke their neck. He was very good at commanding the room. And I guess it kind of just spilled onto me. But, it was just at that point in time, seeing you, I had had some serious life experiences. And there were some people that I tried to reconnect to, like, hey, listen, I was going through my own thing in life, but I'm here. I'm sorry. I apologize. Like, let's try to kind of reestablish the relationship. And some people were like, sure, great. So how you doing? Let's
Mhm.
go have a drink. Like right now or next week, or you tell when you're free. And some people were like, nah, sis, you done left. I'm good. You should have thought about that the first time.
Mhm.
Either way,
Mhm.
it's okay
Yeah.
because I truly feel like whoever and whatever is meant for you, it will always find its way back to you
Absolutely. Mhm.
in all things, in all areas. And when you see situations like that arise, the best thing for you to do is just, oh, okay. And it's not to say that your feelings won't be hurt or you won't be upset or
Mhm.
you won't you won't get in your emotions like, oh, I just put my heart out there and I apologize to this person and I understood that I went wrong with them and they couldn't receive that. It's okay. Some people won't be able to receive that. And
Mhm.
you just have to take um, rest in knowing that when you lay down at night, can you live with yourself? Have you done right by people as much as you possibly could have? It's not to say you're perfect, but for the most part, did we cover most of the bases? Did we try to do right by the people around us? And if you can say yes, well, then congratulations, you've made it through another
Mhm.
day.
Yep.
You've definitely put in that work. If you haven't and it's starting to bother you, then at that point in time, you need to start putting in the work and you
Mhm.
need to start changing the narrative about yourself, not just what people are thinking, but what you're thinking about yourself,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know. And I realize that's why a lot of us as sisters, as brothers, and just the relationships in between all of us that um, we're all damaged or broken in some area.
Mhm.
And if we're not careful, we'll bleed out on someone else.
Mm.
It
Girl.
all starts with you.
Yeah.
The work starts with you. And I really wish a lot more of our sisters and our brothers would do the work
And
internally.
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I think though there's a part of it where I think people are afraid to do the work simply because they think that it's something they have to do by themselves. And I think that there is a part of it. Yes, you have to. You gotta cross this desert or whatever by yourself. But there's another huge part of your healing and your growth that you need to do with others, right? And
Yes.
I don't think that we cherish that part enough, or we feel that we have enough individuals around us that we can trust, that we can really like heal with that person and allow them to share their stories, allow yourself to share your story and be vulnerable so that you can grow. And I think that's what's essential for really getting to that next level. And I have to be grateful. And for me personally, I'm like beyond grateful that this stage in my life when I decided to really heal, I had people around me and I kept connecting to people just like you around me that
Wow.
were at that same point or allowed me to like be me so I can heal properly, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Give me that space.
Yes.
And I think that's why I wanted you like so bad on the podcast, because the conversations we had, it was just so crazy how we would be thinking about each other. We hit each other up and be like, oh girl, I was just thinking about you. Or we'll have
Wow.
conversations and be like, oh girl, I had a dream about that. Or, oh girl, I was thinking about this last week. Like, and we were always in
Yeah.
unison. And I don't think that was a mistake. Like that was just like a happenstance. That was divine intervention. That was the universe like, yo, this is why I brought y'all back together, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I will be honest with you. You are definitely an answered prayer. And you know why I say that? And I'm trying not to get emotional because I had went through
Because you know
I
me,
know,
girl.
right?
I've been all emotional. This like isolation
Uh,
now.
I mean, when I really stop and think about how many points in time I was so broken,
Hmm.
And I trusted people and they broke me even more.
Oh, girl.
People that were supposed to carry you.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though you're an adult, there's still some moments where your inner child shows up. And that's the time that people really need to nurture you and handle you with kitten gloves. And instead, they drop you.
Yes,
It's like dropping a baby. And what do? They do more damage.
mm-hmm.
And it's not to say that it's my fault or I should have known better.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people will give you that genuine feeling that you can trust them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you open up in front of them, and what do? They break you again. So
They
I've
do it.
learned
Yeah.
over time, be careful who you are broken in front of.
Mm.
And that's why for me, I had to isolate for a little bit, because I needed to just get away from people. I was always looking for the approval of people, for people to like me and to be a likable person. And I had to set all of that aside and say, okay, forget about everybody for a second. Do you like you? I
Mm.
mean, like, do you really like you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like your strengths? Which most of us be like, yeah, girl, I like my strengths. But do you like your weaknesses?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the ugly parts of you, the unlovable parts of you? Can you accept those
Mm-hmm.
and still be comfortable in that imperfection?
Mm-hmm.
And if the answer is no, then yes, you still have some work to do. And yes, it's very important to have good people around you. That's why I said you are an answered prayer. I was like, God, I've been so good to so many people, and I'm not looking for any of that back.
Mm-hmm.
I just want it to be returned to me in the form of somebody else. Because I don't give to get back. I
Mm-hmm.
don't look for a reward. I don't do it for a like. I do it because I genuinely love or care about that person. Even if I don't know you, it's
Yeah.
just the love in me that's just like, oh, this person, they fell down. Let me help them with their bags. Or you see a sister on the street. You know how many women I stop? I'm like, girl, you are rocking that outfit today.
Mm-hmm.
And it just puts a smile. They're like, thank you so much. You see the hair flick and they start strutting. I'm like, go ahead. Because what I did was, instead of me going around breaking someone, I have now helped heal somebody
Mm-hmm.
in just a kind word, a random act of kindness. You know, so yeah, definitely it's two-sided. You have to do the work internally with yourself, some parts, and then it's also good to have that network. Isolation isn't always good, as we can see
Mm-hmm.
from this quarantine.
Yeah.
Girl, I
Minus
thought
the
about you
quarantine.
yesterday.
Huh?
I thought about you yesterday. I was like, it's nice outside. Me and my friend, we would have been at a
Oh,
restaurant
thank
having
you.
mimosas.
Oh my gosh. I was so in my feelings yesterday too. I was just like, it's so nice out. I could have been at the park. We could have been
Yeah.
at lunch.
I was like, oh God.
No, I was in my no, seriously, I was in my feelings yesterday. I was in my feelings. I ain't even gonna hold you. I really was. People was outside partying like we not dealing with the Rona. But I was inside all sad, because I'm like, I'm not gonna lose my mind like y'all look right here because y'all thinking it's hot. Nah, I want to see the rest of summer.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm good. I'm good. But
Exactly. I've seen some people outside with with no mask on, no
girl, they
gloves, walking
congregated.
around.
Yeah, on my block.
Congre-
There was like at least
congre-
20 people right here in front of my building. Why? That's another story because
oh.
you already know how I feel about that. Just chilling, kids, everything, just out here, just I'm like, oh, okay, that's what we do. All right, like, ugh, but yeah, but I mean, despite all that other craziness going on, but something that you said definitely struck a chord, and I was thinking when I was kind of in my mess, I guess you can say, about like 2 years ago, maybe a little over 2 years ago, and I was I think something I came across, a meme or something, a post somebody put up, and that said, you I'm gonna butcher the wording, but it just when I read it, it made me go, oh wow. It said you gave so much. Imagine it said you gave so much energy, or you gave so much love, or whatever. I forget the wording, to all the wrong people. But imagine how beautiful it could be when you're giving all that energy and love to the right ones.
Wow.
And like that right there, when I tell you, like, it just turned a switch off in my head, because I was in a space where I was just like, I'm tired of doing for people and people using me, and I'm not getting this and this and this. And I don't know, something about those words just made me go, no, but you are a person. This is you. This is what you love to do. You like making people feel good, right? You like being there for people. You like whatever way it is, even if it's just like a quick, hey girl, hey, and that's all you do. Or if it's like, oh, let's go out on a town and whatever, that's what you enjoy doing. You enjoy doing that for people. Don't let the people, you know what I'm saying, that didn't know how to receive that, right? Didn't know how to
Yeah.
hold that, keep you from yourself and keep you from the things that you enjoy doing for others, because that is what your purpose is, your calling is, right? To be
Yes.
there, to be a nurturer. And that literally turned a switch in my head. So just you saying that, and then when we have talked, and I'm like, yeah, we're both on the same wavelength. It's like, yeah, we like doing for people. We like being there for people, not because I want to receive anything back at all, right? But at the same time,
Yeah.
I don't want to be abused either. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly.
Mama ain't doing
Exactly.
that no more. No, no, no. But no, you're absolutely right.
And I mean, now that you said that, now, here we can now introduce the bitter woman,
Mm,
because I've been her too.
girl. Okay.
And yeah, it wasn't a pretty sight. Because at that point in time, it's kind of, you have ever seen people make the analogy of a ship when it's sinking because all the water and everything is spilling in? That's
Mm-hmm.
literally who we are. Like, when we start letting things get inside, hate, abuse, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, our own negative thoughts start speaking and seeping in. When we start letting all this bad energy, all this negativity start seeping in, and we really start holding on to it, that's where all that stuff comes in. So back to the bitter woman. I had went through a really bad breakup,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just so angry with men. I was so angry with myself, like, oh, how could I let it get this far? How could how could I be so stupid? Like, I should have had a standard. You start with the whole internal beating yourself up kind of
Yep.
thing. And I was just angry. And I mean, most times when you're in that space, you don't realize you're angry until someone points it out. So one of my friends was like, Patty, girl, I love you, but you are angry.
Hmm.
You really need to, and she's a Christian. She's like, you need to seriously, like, pray and ask God to take all of that, because girl, you are angry.
Right.
And at first, your girlfriends, they tell you stuff, and you're like, she don't know what she's talking about. Until I went out on a date,
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was ready to date, and this guy said to me, he said, "Ma, you are beautiful, but damn, you are angry."
Oh, wow.
And needless to say, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. We just came back from a party. Everybody was drunk. So he was actually yelling this. And I knew at that point in time, I went from being kind of on the tipsy side to I sobered up real fast. You know, when that kind of happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I yelled out, all I want to be is respected. And it wasn't at him. It was just this past stuff that I had been through. And I was walking around with a chip on my shoulder, because I was just like, I did this and I did that, and this guy, he did this to me, and he dragged my name and did all this stuff. And now everybody's looking at me crazy, and people don't even know my side of the story. I wasn't even allowed to defend myself. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even allowed to speak at my own trial while people were tearing me down, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I had gotten bitter, and I was like, I'm not doing nothing for anybody. It's just about me and
Yep.
this and that and the third. And you know what? Thank God for my father. He said to me, he said, if you let people change you,
Mm-hmm.
then you've already given over your power already.
Yes.
And,
Mm-hmm.
thank God for him, because he's been through his own little stuff too. And I was just like, I didn't give away no power. And he said, look at how you're carrying on. He was like, when someone that has their own power, they're not easily flustered. They don't let people change them. And that's what happens to a lot of bitter women. It's that one situation or that one person or a
Yep.
series of things that has happened that they have not dealt with. They have not done the work. They have not sat down with their girlfriends and had a little,
Mhm.
ladies' time, ladies' meeting, and just really get that out, have a little girls' intervention. And the bitterness sets in. And then the longer you sit in it, it's the harder it is to get out of it.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
and I had shut down at one point to everyone and everything, and I said, if I let this person change me, he's already won.
Yep.
I
Yep.
love doing for people. I love helping people, and I realized that's why a lot of my blessings are still coming,
Mhm.
because the little random acts of kindness for strangers, for friends, for family, I don't look for nothing back. But you know what? When I'm going through something, somebody will pop on over. Hey, here's some groceries, man. Here's
Mhm.
$40.
Mhm.
Oh, you were in my thoughts. I was just thinking about you. How are you?
Mhm.
And it'll be something that I needed right
Yes.
then in that moment,
Yes. Yep.
right then in the moment. So, yeah, when I see bitter women now, it used to repel me, but I see the hurt and the wounds more than anybody else,
Mhm.
because I was once her, and I had to do that work. And I thank God for for good friends, for good
Mhm.
women, for the people that have come around that have helped and assisted and aided along the way. Even if they're not here now,
Yeah.
I'm still just grateful for them. They serve their purpose and they're gone. And as I welcome them in peace, I also learn to let people go in peace too.
Mhm. Girl, and that part is, I think, when you
Hard.
have really, it's hard, but that's when you also know you've really grown. When you, like, in your prayers, or when when you out here meditating, whatever method that people use and want to call it, and you pray for those in your life, but you also pray for those who no longer there for you. And that is something to be grateful for too. I think sometimes we get angry that, oh, this person ain't here no more. No, I'm thankful for them not being here anymore. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for
Yeah,
whatever you gave me, but I'm happy because I know that was in the divine plan, that you couldn't come on the rest of the journey with me. You
yeah.
know, and I'm grateful for that as well. Yeah.
I mean, a few preachers have talked about, friends for a season,
Mm,
friends for a reason,
yep.
and
Yep.
friends for a lifetime.
Yep.
And, you know, we put so much of our life and everything that goes on with it in the hands of other people.
Mhm.
But that's really our responsibility to figure out and to determine,
Yep.
based on what people say to you, coupled with what they do to you and for you, where they are. And no matter which category that they fill, just be happy in that,
Mhm.
because we're gonna go through this all the time. We're gonna gain some, we're gonna lose some. Like, this pandemic has really shown me the value of human life. I
Oh,
think we all took our life for granted. Like, oh, I'm gonna get up tomorrow, I'm gonna get that joint done tomorrow, or I'm gonna see grandma tomorrow. And
mhm.
a lot of us, our loved ones took their last breath and we can't even see them.
Mhm.
A lot of our coworkers, our friends, people we randomly knew about around the neighborhood, they took their last breath and none of us were there to be with them.
Right.
It's a crazy time, and it's really just it's done something for me. I'm like, listen here, I don't have time to be mad at nobody, but I do still want you to stay away from me
Yes. I
because you
love
are
you, but
toxic
you stay
to
over
my
there.
energy. Yeah, just stay over there. I'll just love you right over there. Just you
Yeah.
can't get within 3 feet because then you're gonna get on my nerves.
Mhm.
But I don't want you dying either.
Right.
And then you see the flip reverse. Some people are just heartless in this pandemic, and
Yes.
this quarantine, I'll be honest with you, it's messed up how it happened, but it had to happen
Yep.
because
I
we
agree.
all had to see people have been hiding and faking the fraud, and being fugazi for a long time.
Mhm.
So this point in time, you're really seeing people in their full form. You're
Yep.
seeing the people that really care about you. Hey, girl, just checking in. You still alive? This Rona crazy.
Mhm. It's true.
um,
Yeah.
and then some people you don't hear from them at all. Hey, can I borrow $40? AJ, I could borrow $40, and you ain't speak to AJ in 6 months
Mm-hmm.
to a year. AJ, I need a favor. I got locked up. You could bail me out. You ain't speak to AJ in 5 years, but you over here asking
But
me
they
for
know, because they know they know your light, and people always gonna search for that. They always gonna search. Girl, you already know. You heard the story, so you ready, girl? You ready? You ready
girl,
to go?
girl, I done been there too. They come back around. Like, I can't even tell you during this quarantine how many exes come back around. Oh, I miss you. Was just thinking about you. Oh, really? No, you just bored. You bored.
Girl,
Lady, on this recording, please do not fall for the hype.
at
Sisters,
all.
do not fall for the hype. These men are bored.
They bored.
And they
Or
think
whoever they quarantine with is getting on their nerves. They realize she wasn't it. Boy, bye.
yep, because she look like Planet of the Apes, and you looking like the boy still in the quarantine. Listen, let me stop. I'm being funny. I'm kidding. A lot of people out here got buyer's remorse. They like, oh shucks, I should be quarantined with her. Oh no.
Yeah. A whole almost 2 months in, girl, literally this week, a few days ago. And again, I'm gonna say what I need to say, but it's always the universe sending me messages. On Facebook, I follow this group. It's called Black Girls Healing, and it was a message in there. I feel like I might have sent it to you, but maybe not. I'm not sure, but if not, I'll send it to you. The invite to the group. But again, a bunch of Black women, getting ourselves right, and there was a meme there saying, "Hey," it literally says like this: "Hey, you, I'm talking to you. Your mind is too powerful for you to be damn, how did they word it, but pretty much for you to be thinking things pretty much all willy-nilly, right? Because your mind is just that powerful that is going to manifest this stuff in your life." And I swear on everything, I swear I read that in that morning. And literally by like the afternoon, I saw the message that afternoon, but it was in my inbox because that person is like I don't get notifications from them. So that ex that with that whole jail thing in January, whatever, we haven't talked in like a month or two or whatever. And I was for whatever reason, he popped into my head that day. I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I don't want to hear from him, Lord. I don't want to hear from him. I'm good. Child, why I swear everything. I'm answering another message, and then I see that message was there. And
wow.
He hits me up. Hey, just checking to see if you good and if you need anything. It's almost 2 months in, bro. I could have been dead for all that matters. God forbid. You know what I'm saying? But oh yeah, now you worried about how I am and if I need anything. I could have been hungry. I could have been anything. Now you worried? Boy, bye. Like I left it real like. Pretty much, I'm blessed and highly favored. I don't need anything. I hope and just left it like that. Like, bye.
I mean, listen. At least he asked, because
which is a fact. But just like what you were saying, I think it's more of a shit. Now I'm bored, or whoever was keeping my attention is not there no more. And let me see about sis, right? Because sis is usually I probably maybe having a conversation, or at least being there to talk and whatever. No, sir. No. You deal with your ish, deal with whatever you're dealing with over there. I don't want that energy over here. I don't want it.
Well, let me tell you what one of my exes did to me. So he hit me up. I just found out my grandmother died. Now, mind you, when I was dating him last year, he already had 2 grandmothers that passed away. So I'm wondering where this third grandmother came from.
Yeah.
Is this a fairy grandmother, with a wand, turn you from a frog into a prince? So I did the eye roll, because he's lied to me so much that I couldn't tell if he was really telling the truth or if he was lying.
And that's so sad.
It is sad, Yeah. Because I'm not, by anybody by nature knows that I'm kind of like, the M&M's peanut, got the little hard shell all mushy on the inside. I just don't let everybody see that.
I understand.
So then he's like, oh, and it's so disheartening. And then I also found out my 2 aunts have coronavirus too. And I'm looking at him like, you didn't even ask me how I was doing.
Exactly, but you vomited your stuff on me.
So that annoyed me. And then he was like, "Hello, are you there?" I still didn't answer.
Mhm.
"Oh, by the way, are you still working? Oh, so you trying to be a hobo? You trying to see if I still got money so you can come over here?" No, I don't think so. And then I literally like blocked him again, because my whole thing is, if I don't speak to you for like 90 days, I'm in my mind, you've already gotten a hint, don't call me. So
Mhm.
I'll unblock you. I don't like holding on to that kind of energy.
Mhm.
I keep it just for a little bit, because
Yeah.
I'm petty. I don't let things go sometimes. Still working on that.
I hear you, sis. Like sometimes,
I'm still a
sometimes
little
it's
petty.
necessary. And people have thoughts about blocking, and I always say, I'm going to block you if my spirit tells me to block you, simply because while I'm healing or getting over you or whatever I'm doing for myself, I don't need you interrupting that process. And
Yes.
that is why I think blocking is necessary, because you could be sitting here good, you feeling alright, you chilling, and the next thing you
Yes.
know, boop, here comes this person. And naturally, what's gonna happen? Your brain just brings you back to that place, and now your body is now feeling and in that place. I don't want you having that power over me. I don't want that. And so therefore I'm blocking you. Now, yeah, after a certain amount of time, I done forgot about it. It's not gonna bother me no more. Sure, I'll unblock you, and sure, I'll be like, oh, whatever. But let me reiterate though what I've said in past episodes. They want to find your ass, they gonna find
Oh,
you.
listen,
Blocked
listen,
or not. Okay.
listen. They like Big Brother. They get different phone numbers.
All of a sudden, yeah, but when y'all was in a relationship, where was you at?
Crickets. It
Where
was
was you
crickets.
at? But all of a sudden, after somebody blocked you and they can't find, now this is when you're gonna find every means to come. Okay. Like, okay.
Like, boy, bye, boy, bye. You know.
Exactly. But I know
Um.
in our conversations, we've talked about so many things, and of course, just you can speak on whatever you feel comfortable with. But I admire you, and I told you that just your story, your tenacity, the fact that you you've been through all that and still keeping it cute. You know what I'm saying? And listen. When I tell you that is, you've been consistent with that all the time. And even when we go out brunch and all that, I'll be like, nah, I gotta make sure I'm cute, because I already know Patty gonna show up. Like, um, but on
Oh
top of
my
that,
God.
being the fact that you've been through so much, and I think the gems you had to drop on people is essential, right? Like to the young
Yeah.
women or women our age who are still going through it and having a hard time figuring it out. There's definitely so much to share there, so much that I think everyone can hear it. And I'm talking about men and women can learn from. And
Yeah.
so please do of course, you don't have to go into details if you don't want to, but just really sharing what that journey was for you.
I mean, they say when you look back on a journey, um, I'm gonna mess up this gentleman's quote. I saw it on Instagram somewhere, but
Mm,
he said in retrospect, when you're gonna look back on all those years of struggle, you're gonna see that as the most strikingly beautiful part of your life.
mm,
And I mean, from it's been about almost 4 years in the making since
mhm,
this breakup, and I mean, a lot of parts of it was ugly.
mhm,
Um, it was also very painful. It was stressful.
mhm,
It was gut wrenching. You know, it was hard. It
mhm,
was really hard. I won't even sit here and say that it was easy. A lot of people who saw me go through that process, they just saw oh, honey, you always stunting every time I see you. Hair always done every time I see you.
mm,
Nails always done every time I see you. But people didn't see the pain. People
mm,
didn't see the late nights of crying. People didn't see me, on my couch crying and just asking God to just kind of just help me through the situation. You know, people didn't see, the network of people that were, whispering into my spirit and into my soul, telling me, you will get through this. You will love again.
mm,
Forgive yourself. That was a big part of it. Forgive yourself. You
mm.
made a mistake, you know. You messed up somewhere, you
Yeah.
know. And I mean, I say forgive yourself loosely, but I mean, have a stand like I had a standard, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking at. I kind of just, looking back on it retrospectively, it was the first guy that actually treated me well, and I figured that was it. No,
Mm. Mhm.
no, you don't have to jump at. It's kind of like going car shopping,
Mhm.
because I really want men and women to relate. Or it's like house shopping.
Mhm.
It's the same thing in the dating world. You don't just jump at the first man or woman that gives you attention.
Mhm.
What is their motive?
Yeah.
What are their intentions for you? And you learn that over time. So this is why when I see people and they're in these what I call microwave popcorn relationships,
Mhm.
you calling me boo and bae after 3 weeks, my antennas are going up, because I'm like, I don't trust you. It's something you want or something you looking to achieve, because you don't know me.
Right.
You don't know what I look like in the morning.
Mhm. Right.
You don't know what I look like when I'm hungry. You
Mhm.
don't know how I carry on when I'm upset, when I ain't get my way. But I'm bae and I'm boo and you do anything for me. No, let's just figure this thing out. But anyway, back to the journey. It was a lot of work. Um, it was a lot of people that they saw something in me I couldn't see.
Mm.
They saw potential. They saw greatness. They saw the resilience. They saw the strength. And I mean, outside of God, doing all of that, what really kept me sane were my children.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there were many times that I just was like, God, you waking me up again. Like, it would be better if I was just in
Mm.
a box somewhere.
Mhm.
Because I felt at one point in time like nobody cared. I was like, it wouldn't matter if I died tomorrow. Nobody wouldn't care. I really felt like that.
Mhm.
And that's bad, because I know too many people, too many friends, too many family to think like that. But I was in that sunken place.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who to trust. I was telling people personal stuff about me, and people were spilling my business all over the street.
Mhm.
And then adding their own, it's a telephone game, adding their own little
Do it.
extra on it, their own little pizzazz, so it sounds more juicy than it really is.
Mhm.
And I mean, I had to get to a point where I sat in my house one day and I was just listening to some worship music, because that's kind of like my way to recenter.
Mhm.
And all I heard was two words: you matter.
Mm.
You matter. And that's where it all kind of started. I had to believe that I mattered. Even if people didn't treat me like I mattered, I had to
Mhm.
believe for myself I matter.
Right.
You
And
know,
you
and
deserved
then,
more. You deserved everything that you wanted. Yeah.
and I mean, it started there. So it started there, and then I had to go back to what's my why? Why am
Mhm.
I doing this? It's one thing to look good. Why are you looking good?
Right.
I
Right.
had somebody ask me, um, so who are you? I had a guy ask me, he's like, so who are you doing this for? You trying to one up a next woman? And I politely flicked my hair. I said, oh no, sweetheart, this is a lifestyle.
Mhm.
So whether I'm single or married,
Mhm.
big belly pregnant, you always gonna catch me looking nice, because I that's just what I like to do. This isn't for anybody. So throughout that journey, I really began to discover and become who it is that I am. And I'm still doing that work. I had to do a lot of forgiving.
Mhm.
And that's the part of the journey that a lot of people don't like, or
It's
they call
like,
it's like a
yeah.
it's like a dirty word, kind of like submission. Ooh,
Yeah.
it's like a taboo word.
Yeah.
But I think people have forgiveness all twisted and messed up.
Yeah.
Forgiveness means, okay, all that energy that I had against you, I'm no longer holding that, but you can still stay over there.
Mhm.
God bless you over there.
Mhm.
I don't want nothing, wrong to happen to you, even though you really wished that on me and you tried it to me.
Mhm.
But I forgive you. I forgive the acts and all that stuff that you try to do to me. But please stay over there,
Yeah.
because now you're protecting your space. You're protecting your energy. And I had a lot of mental work to do. I'm realizing more and more, you are what you think about.
Mhm.
You think about negativity. You think people don't care. You think you're ugly. You think you're fat. You think you're all these things.
Then you.
That's what's gonna come out.
Mhm.
And I mean, trust me, when you start doing the work, you don't have to make an announcement. People see it.
Oh
One
yeah.
day I one day I went into the fish store up on Church Avenue. Shout out to them across the street from Bobby's. Italians, they've been there for years. My parents have gone there. My grandparents have gone there. And I walked in, casual day, just to get some shrimp for me
Mhm.
and the girls. And the guy's like, you look kind of different. Are you eating? You exercising? What are you doing? And I chuckled internally because I knew at that point in time, all that baggage and all that weight and all that hate that I had
Yep.
against certain people, I had let it go. And now it's starting to seep out. And I didn't say anything special to him. I didn't do anything. I just came in, hey, how are you? Can I get 2 pounds of the large shrimp?
Mhm.
And he's like, you just got this glow. You look different. And I was like, oh, I knew what that was. I just laughed.
That's a fact. And just to intercept, but girl, that's a fact because I remember, especially, it was after my breakup, after losing my grandma, but it was like a few months into that year, and I had gotten to a place of just like I shed so much stuff. And prior to that, like my mom, like when I'm talking about when I mean prior, like before my grandma passing, but also I was still in that terrible ass relationship, and I'm already thin. I lost weight. My skin was
Yes.
terrible. Like
Oh,
my hair wasn't growing fast. Like it was just like so many things was just wrong. I was just drained and I couldn't see it. And then like I had we had it broken up, but we were on that verge. And then like I remember being over my mom's house and she looks at me and she's just like, why do you like you don't look good. Like my mama, she don't hold no punches. And she was just like, you don't look good. Like, and
West
I
Indian parents, right?
I was looking pale and whatever. And so now let's fast forward to now 6 months or so, not even 6 months. It was like maybe like 2, 3 months, no, about like 3 months after this whole breakup, after this whatever. And then I just like people literally started telling me, you glowing. Like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, when you shed the bullshit,
Yes.
life just comes back.
Yes.
No, when I tell you
Yes.
strangers, like just random people, and then people that I haven't seen in a while, that or people that I saw regularly, they was like, yo, you look good, like you gaining weight, your skin is looking amazing, my hair just started growing. And I'm like, yo, that's very real how we retain all that in our bodies.
Yeah.
Start healing on the inside, it shows on the outside. It really does.
Let me tell you, I I love pictures. You know why? Because they capture you in that moment.
Yes.
That's I tell people there's a few things that don't lie. Pictures don't lie and numbers don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is a liar. And I say that because I look at when I first went through the breakup, I went through the divorce, I was thin.
Mm-hmm.
My skin was, I had dark circles under my eyes. Um, my countenance and all my pictures, even though I was smiling, I looked sad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then fast forward, I started looking at pictures a year and a half, 2 years in, 3 years in. And I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
wow, I see the transformation, and I mean, I I listen, sisters, brothers, I know it's hard, but them 3 words, let it go, you'd be
Mm-hmm.
surprised. I,
Girl.
I want I want people to visualize for a second.
Yep.
Holding grudges and weights and burdens is like holding 10 bags of groceries in your 2 hands
Mm-hmm.
and you're walking around with it. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to the bathroom with it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to work with it. You're going all over the place with these bags of groceries.
Right.
That's all the junk that's in you. The moment you drop the bags and you let it go,
Ooh, the relief.
you
Mm.
don't have to tell, you don't, and the thing is, the crazy thing is, you don't have to tell people you're doing this stuff. You
Mm.
just make up your mind one day, yo, I'm letting it go.
Yep.
This person hurt me. They were wrong. I know they're wrong. They don't think they're wrong, but I know they were wrong. But I'm letting it go
Yep.
because it's not healthy for me.
And you make room for the things that you actually want. And that is not a lie. Like Like
No,
once you let
it's
it
not.
go and you just was like, boom, and it's not on some grudge shit. It's not on some I hope they die shit, right? Nothing. Just like God bless you over there. It's fine, whatever. And then literally, as you let go the crap that you don't want, the stuff you want is actually coming in. And it does. It just rolls in. It really does. Yeah.
That's why I said you are answered prayer, because if I was busy still being a bitter Betty, I would never ran into you. And matter of fact, I think I ran into you twice
Yes.
because we didn't exchange numbers the first time.
Right.
I ran into you again the second time.
Yes. Yep.
You know what I mean? And then we were just like, yo, we keep seeing, yo, let's just take each other's numbers, man. Like, we
Exactly.
need to hang out.
And I think I do remember it was twice. The first time I remember like being in a mind space of like, I gotta go, whatever. But also thinking prior, like I always had the thinking of like, I need to make more women friends. Like I just want to have a better circle. So I was on the verge of that. But then at the same time, I also had apprehension in doing it. And so like the first time, I was just like, oh, sis probably busy. Let me just leave her alone. Like whatever, it is what it is. But then it was also the notion in my head of like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Oh, I know I have it on social media. It's cool. That was like my thought, right? But then I forgot how much time passed. I feel like it probably was like a month or so passed.
Yeah.
And the second time though, I was just on a different page. Like, nah, I'm making shit happen that I want to happen. And so I was like, girl, let's do this. Like, this happened for a reason that we kept running into each other. And so I'm like, it's supposed to be. You can't sit here and ask God for answers, and when He's giving it to you, you don't listen. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah, let's do this. Let's check. Let's connect with each other. And it wasn't some superficial shit, because I think we both put effort into that. It wasn't just, oh yeah, you take somebody's number and then that's the end of that. It was like, nah, girl, like a week or so, I forget how long it was later. Hey girl, I don't want you to think I forgot. We gonna have that drink. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do this thing. And it takes effort. You have to also be willing to do the work. Not okay, you just said, let go the shit. Absolutely. But you also have to be able to do the work so that you can get the shit that you want. Right? It's not just sitting at home like, all right, everything I want, come get me. No, you want a bigger or better circle of supportive women. You have to go seek those people out, right? You want to attract a better partner, then you have to seek that out. You can't just sit and wait for that partner to come and break into your house and find you. Like, you gotta go out there and find people and talk to people. And it may not necessarily be the intention of every man I told you was gonna be my man. Nah, but I just want to get to know people, like network, and then who knows what happened, So you have to do that work. You have to.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what? I'll be honest with you. When I had initially seen you again, the first and second time, I had that same apprehension, because I was like, God, I've been through it with so many women. They come in my house. Listen, they ask for a jacket to wear outside. They cold. Like, I treat them like my sister, literally. Like, I had one friend that she could literally come to my house when I wasn't home. Because if my mother or my stepfather was home, she was in my house, in my bed, laying down, watching TV. Oh, yeah, I was waiting for you to get here, changing my channel. We were that close. Yep. So for me, when I bring women around me, we're not friends or homegirls. No, you're my sister. Like, you're family. You're that unofficial family, And I was like, God, I ain't going through this. I don't like women. I don't this and I don't that. And I had to stop that dialogue. You know why? I was like, okay, well, if you don't like women, that means you don't like yourself. And I was like, but I do like myself.
Correct.
I was like, no, like, we women, we need to stop that. Oh, I can't get along with women because they're this and that and the third. Some women are like that. Don't get me wrong. Some women are catty. Some women talk too much. Some women like drama, but there are also men like that too. Hello.
Yes. Okay. Talk about it.
So let's not only put it on the women. There are some men like that out there too. Yes. But I had to stop that dialogue, and I had to do a little internal work to figure out, where did this whole conversation of me not liking women came from. And you know where it came from?
My mom.
My mom.
Yep. My mama.
My mom. Because me and my mom, we always had this kind of contentious relationship where, as a kid, she was always yelling at me, make sure your clothes is neat. Make sure your hair this. And West Indian parents, like, they've never been shown love and, come here, come give me a hug, I love you a long time. They're not used to that.
Yeah.
They're used to, you get your ass whipping and you want to come have some dinner.
That's
Yeah, I make
right.
oxtail, your favorite
That's all
dinner.
I need to give you. You don't need hugs and kisses. You'll be fine. But
So, I mean, it was just like, I had to go back in the archives and I was like,
yeah.
I'm an emotional person. I'm a little sensitive when I'm ready. And I needed my mom to hone in on that and to pick that up and to see that and to not yell, 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 yell all the time. So I realized there was a lot of damage between me and her because it's like, at one point in time, I wanted to be you. I wanted to be just like you. But you're always the source of my pain. So now I'm going out here, I don't, trying to look for other women to replace what I didn't have with you. And then I get hurt by them. Oh, I don't like women. I don't, and I'm not going to lie to you. Like when women get together like you and I, it's like iron sharpening iron.
Yeah.
Cause you're like, listen, I know you always looking good. And I'm like, yo, I know my friend always on time. So I can't be late.
Watching for me while I'm watching for you, like
I gotta be prompt. Like she said, 1:00, I gotta be here 12:58. And if I know I'm gonna be late, I gotta text her and be like, yo, I'm gonna be like 10 minutes late. Don't kill me. I know you probably there already, but it's like when you get those connections, like especially those sisterly connections, it's supposed to make you better. It's supposed to elevate you, grow you. You know what I mean? Like even that networking mixer that you and your friends had before this whole quarantine happened, that was so dope.
right.
Just a bunch of people sitting around talking about their agendas, their businesses, what they're doing. And I sat there in the midst of everybody talking. You were giggling away. I don't know what you were laughing at. And the other gentleman next to me was a photographer. And I was sitting there. And the only thing I said to myself was, I need to be in circles like these. With people that are doing what it is I'm looking to do. People that have already gone. Like now it's just for me to rise up to where I see all these people are at, And I say all of that, just to go back to the main point of, that internal work. So I had to cut that kind of rhetoric out. Like women are some beautiful creatures.
Yes.
We do so much for people and we don't get half of that back, a quarter of that back. We need to protect the sisterhood. How many men they got friends from junior high, high school, they get married, they have children, they get old and gray, and they're still friends with these same men. How many women can say that? We're not protecting our sisterly bonds the way we're supposed to.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I learned being married and then being divorced. When I tried to go back to those friends, they were like, nah, you already forgot about me. I don't want you no more. Some people are like, all right, cool. Well, we just gonna pick up. Like, it's whatever. Just glad you back and you're around. Some people didn't receive that. But you know what? If I would have preserved those bonds in the first place, I would have had my safety net in the form of my network to fall on. I would have had someone to scoop me up off the floor those many nights I cried.
I mean, I think society does send people a message. I wanted initially to say women, but I say people a message that you have your friends and that's cool until you get your partner. And then once you get your partner, they're supposed to be your only friend, and your friends kind of go to the the wayside. And that's something that I think women, we do a lot. I know men who do it too. So that's why, because I have guy friends who do that shit. When I don't hear from him, I'm like, all right, he caught up in some, all right. Like, and I just leave it alone. But no, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, all right. But I think for me, it was more hurtful when my girlfriends did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, I've been here for you. And I know when he gonna do some stupid shit. And that's when you're going to pop up. And now we have to get through this shit together. That shit was really hurtful. But I think when I pulled myself from that emotional space to think about it, it was like, this is messages that we're told, you know what I'm saying? Like from society, like, oh yeah, your friends are cool and cute. While you're single, you kiki, you have your fun. But then all that stops when you have your man. And so you neglect those relationships when really you can feed both of them. You know what I'm saying? You can feed relationships because you need both of them. You do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and again, the wonderful thing about this journey also is live according to your own rules. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I had to learn how to do. And you know what? When you start living according to your own rules, AJ, people start hating you
And that's
because
okay.
they can't do you like a dummy.
Exactly.
They can't do you like a dummy.
Oh, you done changed.
They can't put their hand on your ass and make you dance. They can't
Yep.
make you dance.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
pull a
different
string to the
now.
left. You different. No, you can't manipulate me. That's what it is. But
Exactly.
thank you for letting me know who you are.
Uh-huh. You can talk to me, but you're gonna talk to me nice. You're gonna speak to me in the language that I need to hear. You're not gonna talk to me or treat me the way that you was doing before and I was accepting. And that's a fact. And that goes for family, friends, partners, whatever. Everybody. Yeah.
I mean, you really have to live according to your own rules. And I mean, again, I had to do a lot of this work post divorce, within myself. Because now what makes it even worse is I'm going through all this trauma and all this pain, and I have two little girls watching.
Mm. Yep. Yeah.
They're 5 and 7 now, but when I went through this, one was 2 and one was 4. Plus the trauma of what it is that I was dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, at that point in time, I had to make very quick decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to also weigh the consequences of them.
Right.
So again, going back to the whole thing of not liking women and those kind of societal undertones, I had to address where those were coming from. How did they seep in?
Mm-hmm.
How did they get in to the mental? And I also had to look at, okay, you have daughters. Do you want to perpetuate the cycle you just came out of, or do you want to start a new narrative with them? And for anybody that has children, like, they really need to understand that when you have a child, so if you have a son, just know, as his mother, you are the first woman that he will encounter.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are yelling and kicking and screaming and telling him he's stupid and he's dumb and he's never going to be shit, he's going to think when he gets older, that's what women are going to treat him as.
Yep.
And same thing for a father.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for a father. If he sees, you're with his mother and you're beating on her and you're slapping on her and you're calling her a stupid bitch and all this other stuff, he's going to think that he's supposed to disrespect women. So when I really considered that, I said, okay, I don't want my daughters to grow up with that whole thing of they don't like women. So I need to be, as that first woman, I need to be right by them. Now, it's not to say I'm going to let them get away with murder. No, I'm going to tell you to fix your hair and be a lady. And, you're not listening. You need to listen to what I'm saying. You're talking too much. I close your legs when you're on the street, when you're wearing a dress. Don't be loud. Women are not supposed to be loud. So these are the things I would tell them. But then at the same time, I just need to stand back for a second and say, babe, you're really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the oldest one, thank you, mommy. And she flicks her hair. She already knows who she is, So, I mean, there's also the constructive criticism that you give, plus the building up. Come, let's watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Give them random hugs and kisses. So I'm already fostering that environment that, women aren't bad. And I'm going to show you that women aren't bad. Mommy isn't bad. Now, you will run into some bad women out there. You will run into some mean girls, And I tell her, okay, when you're dealing with that, don't even speak to them. Don't even give them that energy, that time of day. So I'm already teaching them how to navigate already. But I don't need to be the one messing them up.
Mm-hmm.
Home is supposed to be the place where they're nurtured, where they're grown, where we have conversations about being Black, where we have all of this other stuff going on, and home is where all of it starts. There also needs to be love there, so again, like, just living by your own rules and just figuring out what works for you, what
Right.
works for the people around you.
Yeah, I admire you, and that's again another reason why I admire you and individuals who go through these life things, break huge breakups, but then y'all doing it with little people that are watching. Like, I couldn't imagine like the amount of energy and just the amount of pain and anguish and all the crap I felt after breakups or after like major breakups. And then to deal with that and healing yourself, but then still having to care for other people, you know, that need you, child. Listen, I give y'all the kudos. I give y'all all that, because I can't imagine like having to do that. It was so hard just focusing on me, let alone now having to focus on yourself and still spread yourself to two other people, you know?
Yeah. I mean, again, Bob Marley says, you don't know how strong you are until you have no other choice.
Yeah.
And that's a real life quote. I was put in a hot kitchen plenty of times, and I'm not gonna sit here and say every part of the journey was glamorous or I did the right thing. I made some mistakes too,
Yeah.
but I also learned something that um you know I'm not going to mention which parent, because to this day one of them still don't know how to say sorry. But I've learned to say sorry, not just to myself, to my children, to the people around me. Oh, I'll be like, AJ, I don't know, I feel like I was being a grouch around you yesterday. I'm sorry, man, I was just having a little,
And it's
those things are important.
yeah. Yeah. Those are lessons though I think kids need to see. I mean, I don't have any children, but I still, like with my nephews, I still give them that regard. Like if I lose my temper or if they see something that I didn't want them to see or hear something, I apologize to them. And I always stress to them, it don't matter how old you are, even if I'm older than you or so you're older than someone else, you can still give that person respect and regard, and you can still always learn something from a person. It doesn't matter how old they are or if they're an adult or if you're a child, and they understand that, like they get that. So we apologize. I apologize to them all the time, and it makes it also easier for them to communicate with you when they know that if you make a mistake, you'll say something. They're also fess up and be like, you know what, I did do that thing and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And so it creates that bridge necessary in really not just the relationship you have with them, but the ones that they're going to have with other people as well.
True. I mean, and something else too. I guess the take home point, again in this journey is don't compromise. Don't compromise who you are. Don't compromise who you are. I don't care who it's for. If it's for a man, it's for that woman, for your children. Don't ever compromise who you are. And one thing I've learned about being newly single, it is lonely sometimes. And when I say it is lonely, meaning like there is no companion, there is no boo, there is no bae. But guess what? I have standards, and there's a certain way I want to be treated. So it's okay for me. I don't mind being alone. This quarantine, I realize how antisocial I am. I like to sit on my couch, watch my movies, sip a glass of wine, put on a nice bra and panty set if I feel like I'm in that mood, sit on the couch, and eat on some strawberries and do some real sexy thing just by myself, because I'm okay. Like, I'm not hard pressed, whatever that not compromising looks like to you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us women, we get caught up out here, and I got caught up last year. God was fine, but he did so much to me that I compromised. And I was like, oh, I'm only letting him get away because he's cute. No, you're bugging. You're just letting him know it's okay for him to disrespect you.
Yep.
No, that's done. I don't care how fine you look. You still need to be a gentleman. You still need to be sweet. You still need to be a human. Oh my God. Ask me how I'm doing.
Yeah.
Ask me how my day is. If you come into my house, don't come empty-handed. Say, babe, I stopped off at Popeyes. I just want to bring something to your house.
Right.
Be thoughtful.
Yeah.
And again, I had to learn all of this through
experience,
making a whole lot of bad mistakes in relationships and with people. But I just learned, don't compromise. you know, and then, yeah.
No, that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. But you don't, even when you're going through this journey to self-actualization, you're going to fuck up. Like, you're going to still do
Yes.
dumb shit. And
Yes.
then you're going to be like, ooh, child, you should have done that. You know better. Okay, next time I'll do better. And then a lot of times I think you will still make mistakes, but then the mistakes are not as intense or not as often. But you're still going to make them. Like, you're still going to have missteps. And so that's definitely part of the journey. So we're nearing the end of the episode. So what are some gems you can leave our listeners for them to take with them on their journey?
Do the work.
Mm.
Do the internal work. It's about you at the end of the day. Do the work. Even if it's uncomfortable, do the work. Don't compromise. Don't settle.
Yeah.
Have your standards and stick to them. Make sure they're realistic.
Okay.
You know,
That's a fact.
make sure they're realistic, but
Definitely.
have your standards. And just enjoy the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Above all things, in the mistakes, in the hard and the low times, enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
And be open. Be open to meeting new people. Be friendly. And, just be mindful that you are what you think. Because whatever you're thinking about, just know you're indirectly and directly attracting that.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just the gems I want to leave,
Absolutely.
until the next time. Hint, hint.
Until the next time, girl. I see you. I'm catching it. Thank you so much, Patty, for joining us. Today's Connection Corner, I leave you with a post from Soul Guidance on Instagram. It reads, "The more you grow, the more complex you get, the more you have to make peace with being misinterpreted. Don't exhaust your soul defending what you naturally are. The right ones along your journey will accept and receive you as you are." Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Oasis podcast. I hope you were able to find something that resonated with you on your journey. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, and like us on Instagram at the Oasis podcast. If you have any questions or comments, direct message us on Instagram or email us at ajaysoasis@gmail.com. Again, that's AAYJAYSOASIS@gmail.com.